Good morning. We're going to try inside dress today, I think. We're at least going to go look at the fields and see if we can. But I'm going to move a little more dirt down to my place this morning, get the little box scraper out and try and level some stuff up. And we'll do that. Phil, hopefully we'll get back to planting beans today. He did have, we're missing a seed tube guard. Let me show you. So there's a little piece that fits on here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, this piece. It's missing. So he went to get one of those and get this put back together, and then hopefully we can plant beans today. That would be good. We need a good day and a half. A really good day, or a day and a half to finish the beans. So it's shouldn't take that long, but it's just got to get done. So we've got our 40-20, our little box scraper. We'll do a little level, and this is going to take a while. It's not real big. We need a bigger, better box scraper is what we need, but this is what we got, so this is what we're using. Slight delay. Turns out other parts of the area, the state, haven't got all their crops planted yet, and they're looking to change out corn hybrids for some earlier stuff. So I've got some early corn sitting over here. He's going to take it to some other dealers elsewhere, transfer it out of here. I'm pretty sure I'm done with it. I don't think I have anybody that needs this stuff, but it's gone now. We're getting there. The front yard's still kind of gougy, but I've gotten this stuff where we put all that dirt last night and smoothed off pretty well. I think it looks decent. I don't know. We just kind of drive around, drag a little dirt with us. Picked up a rider. He talks the whole time, but I can't hear a word he's saying. I'm not even really playing with the height very much. I just kind of leave it where it's at, and then it picks up the dirt where it's high and dumps it where it's low. Nice shirt, Brayson. Thanks. We're very red today, both of the boys. But we're switching riders. I'm about done. I don't have a whole lot more I'm going to do. I'm not going to get this perfect, but I just wanted to get it so that, you know, it's not a complete mud hole when it rains, and that maybe the water will shed. I've got really nice slope from the high spot all the way down. It should shoot right out into the field. That's the goal. All right, it's time to be more productive and do something for actual farm work instead of just my house. So we have a set of double anhydrous tanks out here yet that are empty from when we were running up here before. So we're gonna go take those back and pull another pair home, hopefully, so that we're ready to go when we can go here, maybe later today, maybe, I don't know. And then we might go check some fields and look around and see if I think we can put anhydrous on or not. Well, bummer, the other set of doubles are sitting there at the tanks to get filled, which means they're empty, so we'll just grab one of these full big ones over here and head out. I see another guy pulling big tanks. He's the other one that I always compete for with getting those doubles and stuff, so I bet he was using those other ones and just brought them back. Oh well, we'll see if they don't get them full. The big ones are fine. As long as we don't have to start pulling those little tanks over there, I'm happy. Made it back to the farm here. The sprayer's gone, so Dad's out spraying. We're gonna take the gator and go look at a couple fields, see if we can go side dress. Well, this is one of the fields that I want to come and side dress today if we can. The front half of this field is kind of a sand ridge, and then the back's the river bottom ground where it really drops off, so we got to get back there to really look at it and see, but here it's good. Well, the spot we had to plant around because it was too wet is much drier than when we planted, so I think we're probably good here. Let's go get the bar. Maybe when Dad's done spraying, I don't think he can do much. He can run tanks for us. I have not heard from Brock today, so I'm assuming he's not coming. Quick stop to look at some of the beans that Phil planted like a week ago. This is that field that was wheat. We planted really late, decided that a wheat stand was no good, so we tore it out and planted it to beans, and they're coming. I don't remember what day it was that he planted this exactly, but we got beans. They look really good all the way down there, so I'm happy with that. A few more still to come yet, but they're popping poking through, popping, poking. I combine words a lot and it makes no sense, so, you know, whatever. Right in front of the driveway here, they're a little thin, but we'll see. Some of them will still come. So we are going to go side dress. It is just about 10:30. I'm going to run home real quick and grab a sandwich, and then maybe Dad will be back when I get back, and I can ask him if he can run tanks for me. If he can run tanks, we can get a lot done today. If he can't, then we're not going to get a lot done today, but we'll do what we can. If we have a decent day, we should be able to finish the anhydrous tomorrow. That's the goal. I don't know if it'll happen, but there's rain coming Sunday night, Monday, so we're going to be done planting beans, and we're going to be done with the anhydrous before Monday morning. I can assure you of that. Okay, we hooked onto that tank. We're ready to go. I need to get a hold of Dad yet because we aren't going to do very much with one tank, but hopefully he'll be back and he can run tanks. Side dressing corn. This corn looks pretty good. I'm really pretty happy with it. This field was not fall chiseled, one of those that we just couldn't get to it. It was too wet. And so it was disked this spring and then field cultivated. Kind of more of a minimum till kind of situation than our more traditional, conventional tillage. But it's good. We'll see what it looks like in another month or two when those roots start searching for moisture and getting down deeper and into that more compacted soil. But for right now, I'm happy with it. Bar's working pretty good. I see I had a vapor line pop off on one of the hoses. I had to, or on one of the rows, I had to go and reattach that. And my nitro alert tells me that row 6 is not working very good. But I have checked line 6, and it seems to be working. And when I pick it up on the end, there is vapor coming out of the tube, so it's got to be doing something. So I don't know what else to check. It's possible one of my sensors is going bad. I don't know. And they're misnumbered on that side. It doesn't make any sense the way that the sensors are hooked up and the numbers that are written on them. Like line 6 can't be line 6 according to the numbers. So I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. It is a little cooler today than it was on Wednesday when we were finishing up on what we had been running earlier this week. So I haven't been able to get it to flow quite as fast. We've been having to run a little bit slower, which is okay. It's fine. We're still flying. I was just starting to think, I hope Dad gets here soon. I did call him. He said he would run tanks, and well, there comes one, so that's good. We're not empty yet, but getting there. I suppose I should film something. I don't know what to film. Just going back and forth all day. Not that way. Just a little bit to do in the middle here. We're sort of finishing it up pretty soon. We got 40, about 10 acres left here. I might have enough on this tank, these doubles, to finish it. Looks like I will, but there's 10 acres across the ditch over there. It was the very last stuff we planted that I got to do while we're here, and I won't have enough on this for that, so that's what that other tank sitting up there by the barn is for. And yeah, good to go. All right, I finished that field. Now we're over here. This is that very, very last field that I planted. It's where the news guys came out and filmed me and interviewed me and stuff. There's only 10 acres that actually got planted here. We've got that big wet hole in the other corner of this field that we just couldn't plant. So this corn is as small as it gets to side dress, basically. But it's I'm here, I'm doing it kind of thing. Like we're just doing it. It is definitely drier out here now than when we planted this, but not by a lot. I would not have been able to plant much more. About the only thing is I could have made those end rows go all the way out to the road along the bank of the river there, and then we just had this wet spot that we would have had to go around, but I would not have been able to get much closer, clearly, because right there's my last row, and right there it's way too wet, clearly. Okay, well, I was on the phone, but we got done there, and we're on our way back to the farm. We need fuel, and I want to look at that line 6 again. Just, I don't know. I bled the entire bar out when we got done, closed the valves, and ran it until it was empty, just to see if I can't pull a line apart. I suppose it's possible there's a piece of dirt or something in it. It's plugging up an orifice somewhere, but it's unlikely, it seems like. It seems a little more of a sensor issue to me than anything else, but we'll check it out, and then we'll head to the next field and see if we can't get another 100 or 130 acres done today pretty easily. I don't know what the plan is. We're just gonna keep going. All right, I took some lines apart and looked. I didn't find anything wrong in those lines over there where number 6 is, but I did find another problem. We're missing a beaver tail. See this piece? It's gone. So I've got some. I don't know which one goes on which side, but we're gonna take that bolt out. It's broken. Right there's part of it, and we'll get a new one on there. One would think that would make a difference. She's worn out, flat worn out. Some of those beaver tails are getting quite worn. It's this piece right here. I think most of them were new at the beginning of the year. There's a couple that I wonder though, like that one. That one is just about completely gone. Until performance suffers, I'm gonna keep running it, and it has not suffered yet. I don't see it leaking out of there at all, and so I'm gonna hopefully wear them out, and then we'll replace them all new for the start of next year. That's my goal. But if it starts not working very good, we'll just replace them. But we don't have very much to do yet, so. Whoa, there's a pretty nice looking field of beans. 3/4s, 34, 42 XF extend flex beans. Only extend flex beans we've got. We'll talk about that sometime, not today. But yeah, those look really nice. There's some of our other corn. Field is waiting to be side dressed. Corn's getting big. It needs to get done, but that's one that I'm waiting on nitrate test results on. So if I don't get those results today, it's just going to get done. And you know, maybe even later today we might do it. We might do it tomorrow if not. But there's rain coming on Monday, and we're just going to do it. I made line 6 better. It still shows that it's a little bit under the rest of them, but it's below the line. That's the alarm level, so I don't know. It's fine. Well, I'm going along and my rate's getting jumpy and erratic like our tank is empty, but our tank is not supposed to be empty, so we're checking. No, we're still at 30%. I wonder if I pop the bleed valve. Or not the bleed valve, the safety valve. These tanks have a safety in them where if they start discharging too fast, like a hose is blown, it'll shut off. The problem with high-speed bars and going fast is that sometimes it's emptying too fast and we shut those valves off. Yep, you hear that click? That's exactly what happened. So now when I open this, we'll do it slowly and that hose is gonna start jumping. See that? As it refills. What number is this? 83M. I had one tank last year that was doing this to me a lot. Hadn't happened at all this year yet. I wonder if it's the same tank. We'll slow down until we're done with it. Yeah, this is definitely that tank that the valve pops if I go too fast. So we're sitting here at 6.5 to 7 miles an hour, just trying to get it empty and hope that we don't get it again. But it's working. It's working all right. So we got just 1,000 pounds of end left in there. Still won't take long, just longer than I want it to. Finally a new tank. We're back to cruising 10 miles an hour. I don't know why, but all of a sudden this one, the pressure gauges went way up. And when the pressure gauges are pegged out and not bouncing at all because they're hitting the needles, that's when you know you can go fast. Well, I was too slow on the camera draw, but I should have for sure filmed it because we just went full send. We got a little mud on the tracks, but if you look right over there, we have a spot where we didn't plant any corn. We got some more up here. And there was quite a bit of water in that little gully that I just made there, or rut, I guess. Full send. I'm not gonna hit the water this time. There's a standpipe there. Yep. Follow the curves best you can. Try not to run over any corn. Yep, something like that. Hit the auto steer button. All good. All good. So this field was one of the last that we planted. Not the last. That was that triangle that we were in earlier, but this was close to the last. Right before that. This is the field that I had to come in and finish that morning after my daughter was born at 5 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, the corn on it looks pretty good. It also happens to be the field with the most variation of anything that we farm. You can see we've got some yellow clay knobs, some ridges that run across here, to the black muck that's down behind us, and the low ground down over there. It's just, it's high organic black muck, and the same thing down in that draw down there. It's just, this field varies a lot. And if you look at our map, you can see those ridges in our prescription map, right? The green is the low ground, the yellow is the average stuff, the orange is the high ground. So you got this strip across here and up there along the woods and right up in front of us here. That's this orange over here and that strip. And anyway, this field was also one of the very first ones I ran this style of anhydrous bar on it. So 2 years ago, when we were still running our old Dalton bar, the shank style bar, it broke on us on a farm. The wing fell off. We couldn't move it, couldn't do anything. We had to have somebody come out and weld it in the field and fix it up. Anyway, I had called a dealer who I knew had one of these John Deere anhydrous bars and asked him if I could rent it from them. I just needed something to finish because our corn was growing, it was getting late, and we needed to get it done. I'd wanted to try this style of bar, and so I called them up, and they actually brought it out, let us demo it and use it, and I did a few hundred acres with it. Well, this field here was one that we did with that bar. So 2 years ago when there was corn here, we put anhydrous on with this style of bar. This was the field that gave me a little bit of concern with this style of bar, because those yellow clay knobs, the poor areas of this field where we're putting lower rates on, the ground was so hard that it was floating. The hydraulic cylinders were pushing the row units down to the ground, but the ground was so hard they couldn't penetrate it, and those caster wheels in the back over there, they were actually just kind of floating sideways, and they weren't actually touching the ground anymore because the ground was so hard. It's not that hard today. It's much better, at least in the spots that we've been in so far. But we're not that dry either, so that's good, I guess. Today, this bar is running spectacularly. Like, you don't see any nitrogen puffing out behind any of the rows. That's like I said, in 95% of the conditions or more, this bar seals better than the old shank bar did, and it works better, and we can go twice as fast with it. It's unbelievable what this thing does. Okay, we've got another empty tank, so we're gonna go hook up to one sitting over there. I don't know that we're gonna need that third tank over in this particular field. Let's see, what do we got done? 57 acres out of 95. That means we've got just under 40 to go. Yeah, we probably will need it. We won't need a lot out of it, but we'll need some. But I have good news. I got the results back on our PSNT, our pre-side dress nitrate tests that were pulled last week. And so we can side dress everything now. We've got all the information that we need, or well, mostly all the information that we need, or all that we're going to have anyway. So we'll talk about those as soon as I'm done changing tanks and what it means for us. Okay, we're hooked up and back running. Dad is doing a great job hauling tanks. It is 4:30, so the fertilizer plant's going to close here soon, but Dad told him when he left the last one, he said, I need 4 more tanks, so they were going to have them all weighed out ready for us. So we've got 6 more tanks really that we can do tonight, which is, 170 acres or so. I don't know that we'll even run all those. But anyway, let's get back to these nitrate samples. So I had our crop consultant come out and pull soil tests, and they sent them in and did a soil test to determine how much nitrates are available in that soil right now, which means it's available to our plants. They can use it, and in theory, we can cut how much we're putting on if there's high levels of nitrates already in the soil. The reason I did this is because in our wheat stubble, we spread some chicken litter in a couple of fields that should have a lot of nitrogen in it. Now, we've spread that in September, and whether that nitrogen has stuck around until June now or not, that was the question. How much is still there? Because remember, nitrogen is a mobile nutrient. It leaches out with the soil, or with the water in the soil and stuff, so it's hard to count on that. The other thing that we did was plant some clover cover crop, which we do a lot of in our wheat. We frost seed that clover, spread it with the gator, and I wanted to know how much nitrogen that was providing to our crop. And then I also had them pull a sample on a field that was it was soybeans last year. It was our normal rotation, simple base program, nothing different than any other fields that we do. So I got all those results back. So our normal baseline, that bean stubble field, had 30 pounds of nitrate available, which sounds about right. You get a little bit of nitrogen credit from last year's soybeans because they are a legume, they fix nitrogen, but they're using most of it. And so that's our baseline, and that's what I would say we don't change from our normal plan, because we make the plan with that in mind. So the field where we spread chicken litter last year, that one, we spread 2 tons of chicken litter, and it had 45 pounds of available nitrates right now. So about 15 pounds an acre more, which is good, but it's not as much as I would have thought. Now there's another piece of, or component to that we're not factoring in, and that is the organic matter mineralization. So part of a big chunk of that chicken litter is organic matter that is going to mineralize nitrogen throughout the growing season. Warm weather, the microbes start working on it, they break it down, that nitrogen then becomes available. That test isn't going to come back until Tuesday. Tuesday is too late, but we're going to find out what that number is. But based on last year's experiences, I think there's a fairly substantial amount of mineralized organic nitrogen that will be coming available throughout the season. I also talked to the crop consultant, and he kind of concurred with that opinion, and Dad did as well. So in that particular field, our plan is to do some test strips, but we're probably going to cut the nitrogen by, say, 10%, maybe 30 to 40 pounds to the acre. We might do some at 20%, we might do some at 0, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. But nitrogen is expensive right now, right? Nitrogen's probably $1,700 a ton for anything that we go over what we prepaid, which we're going to go over it. It's just a matter of how much. The more I can cut, the less we have to buy extra. So that's a factor. And then the other field that we had tested, where we had the clover sod, the clover cover crop last year, actually had 65 pounds of available nitrates right now. Well, that's a good thing. That's more than double our baseline soybean stubble, 30 pounds. So what do we do there? How much do we cut it? Well, the difference between that and the chicken litter is I don't feel like we're going to get the organic matter mineralization that the chicken litter will. There is going to be some. There is absolutely going to be some breakdown of that plant material and residue, but I don't know that it's going to be a lot more than what we would get out of our soybeans fields and just the regular residue breakdown. And so we're probably going to do about the same there, even though we have more available nitrates right now. We're gonna cut it 10%, 20%, 30, 40 pounds per acre, and I mean, that helps, right? So you do that on 100 or 150 acres, and it saves a fairly significant amount of nitrogen and dollars this year. But yeah, we're going to do little test strips with it and stuff, and we'll see what kind of a difference that makes. But good news is we've got those results back, so we can side dress those fields. 3 of them are within a half a mile of where we're sitting right now, so we're just going to stay here and work on those tonight, and then we should pretty easily be able to finish up the anhydrous tomorrow, which is excellent. Here's one of those spots that it was too wet to plant, but it's dry enough now. It's not worth hooking the corn planter up and doing it, but we could. The question is it dry enough in that green spot to drive through to get lined up with the next pass? I think so. I think we're okay. Oh yeah. We're all good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, we're way over here. That was way off. There we go. Alright. There, we got some more water. You guys want to see a splash? We'll make a splash. Maybe it'll splash. There it goes. A tile blowout there that's leaking water out. Well, I knew I would be close on being able to finish with this tank or not. Round and a half short. So we got another tank. We'll go switch it out, finish this up, and jump across the road. Okay, so we jumped across into one of our chicken litter cover crop fields. So I have backed the rate down here. We're doing 80% of my script, so 80% of what I would normally put on here, which means a big chunk of the field's going to get 148, basically 150 pounds. Some of it less, some of it a little bit more in this darker green area there and stuff, but 150. Which I feel like is pretty good. If you factor in the 20 pounds we put in on the starter, that's 170 pound per bushel. It's 170. If we get 170 bushel off of here, I'd be happy, but then we have another theoretically 40 to 45 pounds of N available right now that should be able to get us, you know, better yields if necessary. Some of this corn is highly variable. Well, it's all highly variable. Some of it is really good down here, and some of the biggest corn we've been in side dressing yet, and yeah, will be, because this was some of the earlier planted stuff and we're just now side dressing it towards the end. But some of it up on the yellow clay knobs is a little thin and smaller and doesn't look so great, so got a little bit of everything out here. So we're on top of that yellow clay knob, and as you look across this, you can see why I say that it just doesn't look great. There are gaps. I don't know if that helps you see them or not, but the spacing is not great. Well, I mean, the planter did fine. It's just we lost some coming up. This farm got rained on shortly after we planted it, and had some crusting issues, and being the stale seed bedded stuff where it wasn't fresh loose dirt, it crusted worse. Yeah, we don't have the greatest stand out here, so it's not bad enough that it needs to be replanted or would have justified that at any way, but we may only have 20 to 25,000 in spots where you know, we planted 30 to 32. So yeah, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. Fortunately, this farm, and one other one that we haven't side dressed yet that I've kind of noticed just looking at it from the road, seem to be the only ones that we really have much problems with. Everything else that we've been on so far has been really... It takes quite a bit longer to burn a tank off at these lower rates, but we're getting there. Oh yeah, you see that field right over there? That would be one of the 2 bean fields that we have to plant yet. There's 40 acres there. I see a pickup that got dropped off there, so maybe that means Phil's on his way? Maybe. Hopefully there'll be a bean planter there soon. So I just switched tanks. I've only got about 8 acres or so, not even that, left here, basically between the 2 building sites. And I decided I'm going to do my test here, and we went back to our 100% of our prescription rate. So the rest of the field got 80%. These, 3 rounds here maybe, are going to be at the full rate, and we'll see if it makes any difference. Plus, if the corn's yellow on the rest of it because I didn't put enough nitrogen on, you won't be able to see it from the road there. It'll look normal. All right, last pass in this field. And I'm tired of moving my GoPros around, so that's what you get. It was pretty cool though, wasn't it? Oh buddy, there is some pretty corn out here. Looks really good. Again, bigger than most of the stuff we've been in. What's laying in my row up here? Somebody's trash. Something. What is it? A box. A bag. A dog food bag. Thanks everybody. Appreciate you letting them blow away. Anyway, yeah, our corn looks fantastic out here. This is great. Again, needs to be sprayed. We got to get some V5 fungicide on here. I'll have to look and see what fields it was that I put that Xyway, the fungicide in the starter, because we don't need to spray those. But yeah, I'm happy with this. We might have to get out and take a picture. This corn looks so good with an 8RX sitting in it. Well, there's another one down. We're covering a big chunk of ground today. You know, we didn't start till 11 o'clock. I was like, it's kind of wet. We'll get some done. I don't have to have a huge day to be able to get done tomorrow. And here we are going to have a huge day because we're up to 237 acres and we're on our way to another 65-acre field, which will put us right at 300 again. The third time in a row, minus yesterday, that we've been dang close to 300 acres side dressing. This is fun, and it means that we're only going to have maybe 150 to do tomorrow. Looks like we're going to actually need to use our lights tonight. Yeah. Nice sunset. Ignore the dirty windows. We're cruising along in this backfield. I've been working here for a while and just haven't filmed anything. I have the front field up there done. I got a tank empty. We just hooked up to this one with about 35 acres to go, and it's going to be real close as to whether that's enough. Normally it would not be, but we're putting on our 80. I'm actually doing an 85% rate on this one. This is the field that had the clover sod on it last year that said it had like 65 pounds of available N. Nitrates, and so we cut our rate a little bit, and you know, it's somewhere in that 136 here. It was 157 in the other zones, so we'll see. But the tank goes a lot farther than otherwise. Dad did bring me another set of doubles that are way up there too. We might have to hook onto them to finish this field, but we're not going to another one tonight. It's almost 9:30. We're going to have 300-ish acres by the time we get done here, and we've only got 2 fields left, 2 farms left. Tomorrow, one's like 95 acres between 4 fields. The other one's like 67, 72, something like that between them. So 150-ish acres, a little bit more tomorrow. That is like half a day. No big deal. Looks like we're going to make it. Pressure gauges haven't dropped yet. Yeah, there they go. But right there, we're done. We might have a very small gap. A very small gap, like 30 feet. That's close enough. Oh, what a deal. I'll have to do some math and add up how many acres we covered here today. I didn't make 300. 295. That's a good day. That's a real good day. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Questions, comments, leave them down below. See you tomorrow.